Hey, what up, bros? Welcome back to another video on Pokemon Sleep. Today, we're talking about main skills. Now, in my last video, there were a lot of views. A lot of people came to my Discord and asked me about natures. One thing I really want to point out is, and it's not a correction, what I've said before still stands, but one thing that people may have misunderstood is that natures are very important. In the early game, it's more important than the sub skills, but not the main skills. I never said that it's more important than the main skill. Now, I would say main skill and natures are probably on par with each other in terms of importance. Natures get applied automatically. Sub skills you need to level up for, which is why it definitely in the early game, sub skills not that important to worry about, because you're not really going to get enough candies to get this, say, Sudowoodo to level 100 to get this helping bonus, for example. In fact, if you do plan to get it to level 100, you should go for one with a good nature anyway. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, and if you don't understand how natures work, go check out my other video. I'll leave a link in the description below. But in this video, we're going to talk about what kind of team to assemble based on my limited knowledge. So this is just my opinion at this stage, and what I've heard from other people's experience as well. What type of team to assemble, mainly focusing on main skills. So your team building is ultimately all about making Snorlax's strength as high as possible. So whether you collect berries or collect ingredients to cook dishes, at the end of the day, it's all about this number and this rank. If you can get it to Ultra or Master rank by the end of the week, because you brought its Snorlax's strength up, doesn't matter what method you use, you're gonna catch better Pokemons. You're gonna get higher ranked, higher tier Sleep Dex entries, and so on. So you really want to get that strength up. And there are a number of ways to get the strength up. One of them is just random farming of berries by Pokemon. So I don't have any to collect right now, but when they collect berries, hopefully one that matches one of the current week's favorite berries, which is listed if you click on the food box, the berry box there. Hopefully matches one of these 3 berries. Option 2 is not an option, but you should be doing this additionally, is cooking dishes. And every week there will be a different preferred dish that that Snorlax will ask you to cook. Could be dessert, salads, or curries. I've posted all the dishes on my Discord now, so you can go check them out. So you know what ingredients required for what dish. And then there's skills that provide Snorlax with strength. And we're talking about now how to build a team that provides the best way to give Snorlax strength. Alright, so now we're talking about team building. So far, one of the most interesting strategies in this game is to just run Sudowoodo or Bonsly, or even Mareep. And that's because they have this pretty good main skill called Charge Strength. So it's M, so Charge Strength Medium, which if you compare to the Pikachu that we're given at the start, which only has Charge Strength S, so small, is more than double the strength addition to Snorlax every time it does trigger. So not Snorlax, Bonsly, Sudowoodo, so the same evolutionary line will have the same main skills. So they both have the Charge Strength M. Notice that Bonsly has a really bad frequency. So compared to other Pokemon, it takes like 2 hours for it to collect stuff. It does. I have a feeling, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I have a feeling frequency is actually related to the speed stat of a Pokemon from the main series. Like the slower the Pokemon, the slower it will collect stuff. Like Pikachu, for example, it actually collects stuff really quickly. 44 minutes, one of the fastest, even with all the Pokemon that I've caught so far. Also, so back to my point about main skills. So Mareep also has this main skill where Snorlax's strength will be triggered, will be increased by 880 every time this main skill is triggered. The only thing is, you should watch before you overinvest. Like I said before, make sure you look at the nature. You can run the team with these Pokemon, but before you invest your candies in Dreams Shards, make sure it's worth the investment. You do need to think about a short-term investment versus long-term investment as well. So I'm not going to go too much in depth about that, but basically have a look at the nature, see if it actually makes sense. So I'll show you one that doesn't make sense. So I've got a Bonsly here. Yes, Bonsly has a good main skill of 880 charge strength, medium. But if you look at my nature, its main skill chance down. So what's the point of me using a choosing Bonsly to trigger the main strength when it has a lower chance of triggering it? And it's got a slow speed of collecting ingredients. So it's not the best to invest in, but I could run it in my team. A few other good Pokemons that you could consider, or a few other main skills you could consider running in your team. Now this one's an interesting one. Growlithe ×4. So it's called extra helpful, ×4 the usual help from a helper Pokemon. Now you have to consider a few things here. So what you have to consider here is, first of all, this ×4, it only works for one helper Pokemon, so one other helper Pokemon. And if you trigger this main skill when your helper Pokemon has a lot of berries and ingredients, then it's good. If you're often logging into the app and collecting stuff, and your main skill, this main skill triggers while your other helper Pokemon only have one berry to give you, it makes no sense. So it actually depends on your gameplay whether this is going to be useful for you. If you don't like to log in very much, this might be very good because it could ×4 however many berries another Pokemon is holding. But of course, in this case, it would substitute my my charge strength main skill. So you have to look at your opportunity cost as well. But I'd say there's a little bit more thinking involved in order to have Growlithe on your team. So if you just want to cheese the game, just use Bonsly, Mareep, and Sudowoodo. Now this I'm not sure of, but I'll just let you know. So there is a main skill, gets you 6 random ingredients. These are very good if you've got specific dishes that you're always missing 1 or 2 ingredients. These are very good to just randomly collect a wide variety of ingredients. But the ×4, I've been told, doesn't work on this main skill. So you can't main skill a main skill. It only works for the regular collection berries and so on. So it doesn't make sense to run Eevee and Growlithe together if you're thinking of trying to stack the main skills. It doesn't work like that. Now, personally, the most useless main skills, to me anyway, is the restoring energy ones. I'm not really sure why, but I've rarely run out of energy. If you run to 0 energy, then Pokemon won't do anything. They won't collect anything for you. So far, I haven't really had that happen. But what I do is every day, other than my usual sleep, I do just add 2 hours of sleep data so that I restore some energy. I don't do that at the start. I do that sort of midday so that the Pokemon have already lost some energy. Then I go add sleep data. I add about 2 hours, and then they restore a bit of energy, and they don't really run out until I go to sleep again. So I haven't really ever needed these restore energy skills. So it's something I don't personally recommend you using on your team. But if you find that you're always running low on energy, use a Pokemon that can heal your energy. So, for example, Jigglypuff restores 5 energy to each helper Pokemon on your team. Other main skills, Chikorita has, again, charge strength, but it's anywhere between 200 to 800. So overall, Sudowoodo is better. Krogunk I used a lot early game. So again, charge strength, but only small, so 400. So these are some of the other main skills. So in comparison, Sudowoodo, Bonsly, Mareep, if you just want to cheese the game. Now, of course, one downside of only running teams that have charge strength main skill is your variety of ingredients are going to be very low. Look, it doesn't bother me that much personally. I can just cook the same tomato dish every single time and just like spam a lot of other ingredients, whatever you have in excess, to fill up the pot to get as much stat as possible. I'll leave a link in the description below also in terms of how to maximize the points you get from cooking dishes. I also made a video on how you can create new dishes, but when I say create new dishes, I mean dishes you haven't seen before, you haven't actually made before. So we've got infographics on my Discord channel. I'll leave a link in the description below, where you know what ingredients are needed to unlock new dishes. So what I'm talking about here is under dishes here. So these unknown dishes that haven't been cooked before, what ingredients are needed. So you'll have much more limited ability to do all the new dishes. So you'll probably mostly be doing tomato stuff. So that's probably the main downside of only running Sudowoodos and Marits in your team. Alright guys, hopefully this video helped you guys. If you have any questions or any queries, you can use the comment section below. Or if you come to my Discord, I do respond quicker on Discord. So I'll leave a link in the description below. Please, if this video helped you, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in the next video.